there was spiritual, there was both positive things and both negative things too, because like all that demonology or whatever I was exposed to when I was 11, all those images came back. They came flooding back,
Mm.
and I saw like, I guess you say evil spirits or like monsters or whatever you want to call it, like looking there, and some of them were like some of them were frightening faces, some of them were like making fun of me, like like
Hmm.
mocking, like kind of like antagonistic or whatever.
So
And
when you
so
say you saw
uh,
these things, is it like, you're in your bedroom at night or something and you're seeing figures or
well,
like,
to tell you what it was, I was awake. I was not dreaming when I saw it. It was like the best way I can describe it. It's like, when you have you thinking about something in your mind, and it's just kind of like in your mind's eye. Well, this was like, it was in my mind's eye, but it was also being like projected in front of me to where
hmm,
I could see it in front of me, kind of like a screen almost. It was like my thoughts were being the imagery in my mind was being projected in front of me, so I saw it in front of me, not just within but without as well. You know, and it was a flood of all these things. And it was at that time that I started to look into Christianity even more. And that's when I read this book about the church father or the desert fathers. Read about Saint Moses, and then I read about Saint Anthony. And when I read about Saint Anthony's story, I saw about how he, the story about the temptation of Saint Anthony when he sees all these evil spirits. And it said in that writings, Anthony told them, he said, "You would have no power over me unless it was given you from above," basically, or something like that. If God, you would have no power unless God would grant you that power. And as soon as he said that, they all disappeared, right? Well, something similar like that happened to me. Not just that time when I saw these things, but like they wanted me to do things. They were trying to get me to sin. They were
hmm,
tempting me to like nudging me, kind of like peer pressure, or something.
whispering in your ear?
Yeah. And then what happened was, one time I was at my house, like I'm already out of school. I came back from school. I'm in my house in the country, and my mom's very concerned. Uh, there's a lot of weird things going on, and so what happened was, I heard this voice telling me to do something, and it was persistent. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember it was trying to get me, and I wrestled with it. I wrestled, and I said no, and I just made that flat decision, like no, like I banished that thought from my mind. And then it was like the Red Sea parted. It was like freedom, like grace, like and I was just like, it was like overwhelmed, like like you've been running like in a you exercise, so you've been running for like a mile, and then you finally get the finish line, you're like, you
Hmm.
can sigh like a sigh of relief. Well, that's how it was. Like I didn't feel this oppression of this evil anymore. And so I lay down on my bed, face down, and on my bed, and then I happened to look out of my window, and outside of my window, like across the driveway in the neighbor's yard, there's about 12 evil spirits looking at me with so much hate and evil intent in their heart. And the thing about it is they look like aliens. Like people have
Wow.
these like the big eyes and like
Gray
the big
man.
head, the
Yeah.
big heads and the gray or whatever. That's exactly how they look like. And this is before I was Orthodox, right? And then when I was becoming Orthodox, I was finding out how the fathers say that these alien encounters or whatever are actually
Demonic.
manifestation of demonic evil spirits, right? So
Yeah.
when I heard that, that was another
Light
uh,
bulb.
light bulb that went off. This, okay, Orthodoxy is the truth. I said,
Yeah.
I know exactly what they're talking about. This is correct. So, and the thing about the demons is they are so miserable. They are so evil. They have no peace. They have no mercy. There's not one shred of mercy in their heart for human beings. And
Hmm.
when I found out later, like when their hate for me was so bad, even though that they were like, they couldn't do anything. Like again, God didn't allow them to attack me, but he allowed me to see them. Right.
Hmm.
So I knew that if God would have given them like, and all the demons can only do what God allows them to do. So if God would have given them permission to come upon me, they would have ripped me to shreds
Hmm.
mercilessly. That's the intent that they had in their heart. It was so diabolical. And yeah, so that's when I found out in Orthodoxy later on is that they say that the reasons why the demons hate us humans so much, us men so much, is because they hate God first of all, and because men are created in the image of
Image
God.
of God. Yeah.
It reminds them of when they see a human being, it reminds them of the God that they hate, so in turn they hate us.
Mm-hmm.
So all this hatred of this evil that they have towards us is really like directed towards God primarily.